Welcome to the second law, one of the most emotionally difficult and psychologically astute in the entire arsenal. Never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. This law strikes at the very heart of our human instinct. We are biologically and socially wired to seek comfort in allies, to build bonds of trust, and to believe that friendship is a safe harbor. This law does not dismiss the beauty of camaraderie, but it forces you to confront a brutal truth of power dynamics. In the relentless game of influence and control, the person closest to you can become your most dangerous vulnerability. It asks you to exchange a comforting fairy tale for a clear-eyed strategy, suggesting that a reconciled enemy, bound by interest and a need to prove themselves, is often a more reliable instrument for your ambitions than a friend clouded by familiarity, entitlement, or hidden envy. Mastering this law is not about living a life of paranoid solitude. It is about mastering the discernment to see relationships not just through the heart, but through the lens of strategic value. Think of the profound comfort a friend provides, the shared secrets, the unconditional support, the shoulder to lean on. This emotional safety is real, but in the context of power, it creates critical blind spots. Familiarity, over time, breeds a subtle contempt. The friend who has seen your daily worries, your small failures, and your private doubts may slowly lose the awe and respect that your public persona commands. The brilliant leader becomes just John, who gets stressed about taxes. The formidable entrepreneur is Sarah, who fears failure. This erosion of mystique is poison to authority. Furthermore, friendship fosters a dangerous sense of entitlement. A friend may begin to expect favors, leniency, or special treatment as their right. They might perform duties with less rigor, believing the bond will excuse their shortcomings. They could even resent your success if it eclipses their own, a silent jealousy that festers under the surface of smiles. Your trust becomes the very license for their mediocrity or future betrayal. If friends can unconsciously undermine you, where does that leave the enemy? This is the law's chilling, brilliant pivot. A former adversary can be a more potent and loyal asset than a lifelong friend. An enemy comes with no baggage of taken-for-granted loyalty. Their conversion to your side is a conscious, calculated act. Having once opposed you, they now have everything to prove. Every task they complete, every show of loyalty they offer, is a brick in the fragile bridge of trust they are desperately constructing. They are on perpetual probation, and that state of heightened accountability makes them meticulously diligent. You negotiate with an enemy from a position of clear-eyed strength, setting explicit terms and boundaries without the guilt of personal history. Their motivation is transparent ambition or the need for survival, not the murky, unspoken expectations of friendship. In the ruthless calculus of power, a reconciled enemy offers a superior return on investment. No modern story illustrates this law's devastating emotional truth more powerfully than Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather. Michael Corleone, the strategic and cold new Don, understands power but tragically misjudges this specific law initially. His older brother, Fredo, is the epitome of the untrustworthy friend by blood. Motivated by childish envy and a desperate need for respect, Fredo feels entitled to a status his weakness does not merit. When a rival family offers him a glimpse of importance, he betrays Michael, enabling an assassination attempt. Fredo's betrayal is not born of strategic cunning but of pathetic insecurity, a danger specific to those close to you who feel overlooked. Michael's fatal error was putting familial trust ahead of strategic assessment. His later, heartbreaking mandate, "I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart," is the ultimate price for violating this law. The punishment is not just for the act, but for the profound personal betrayal, proving that the wound from a friend cuts infinitely deeper. The power of using an enemy lies in a profound psychological principle. The prove-it dynamic. A friend's loyalty is assumed, static, and therefore often passive. An enemy-turned-ally's loyalty is active, dynamic, and constantly demonstrated. Think of a talented employee you passed over for a promotion who becomes resentful. If you later elevate them, their drive to validate your decision and erase past doubts will be ferocious. They will outperform the complacent friend who expected the promotion based on tenure. This dynamic creates a self-reinforcing cycle. You, as the power holder, remain cautiously observant, which keeps them sharp. They, in turn, channel all their energy into productive service to secure their position. This is far more reliable than the emotional reciprocity of friendship, which can waver with moods, personal disputes, or changing circumstances. You have transformed a source of opposition into a motor for your goals. History provides a masterclass in this law with England's Queen Elizabeth I and her relationship with Robert Dudley, the Earl of Leicester. Dudley was arguably her greatest love and closest friend. Yet, Elizabeth, the ultimate sovereign, never allowed that personal affection to blind her politically. She famously kept him emotionally close but repeatedly denied his and others' pressure to marry him, understanding that making a favorite her king would grant him uncontrollable power and destabilize her realm. Conversely, she was adept at employing former enemies. She brought capable Catholics and former plotters into her fold when it suited her, using their talents while watching them closely. Elizabeth understood that the love of a friend like Dudley could make her vulnerable to his ambitions, while the servitude of a former enemy was guaranteed by their dependence on her grace. Her reign was a lifelong balancing act of managing friendships with strategic distance. Translate this to the modern open-plan office or corporate boardroom. The colleague you grab drinks with every Friday, the work friend, is the one most likely to hear your casual complaints about a manager or your half-formed ideas for a new project. In a competition for a promotion, that information becomes potent ammunition. Your friend, perhaps feeling equally entitled to the role, may subtly use your own words to undermine you. Conversely, a clear rival from another department, once a boundary is established or a common goal is identified, can become a powerful alliance. A negotiated peace with a rival creates a partnership based on mutual interest, with clear deliverables and expectations. There are no blurred lines of personal loyalty to cloud the judgment of who is contributing what. The project succeeds or fails on merit, not on the strength of happy-hour camaraderie. Implementing this law does not require you to become a friendless cynic. It requires cultivating a guarded heart and a strategic mind. Start by re-evaluating your inner circle. Distinguish between true allies of your mission and emotional companions. Share sensitive information on a need-to-know basis, even with friends. Learn to delegate critical tasks based on proven competence and aligned interest, not on affection. Most importantly, practice the art of reconciliation and recruitment. When you encounter a talented opponent, assess whether their opposition is personal or merely positional. If it's the latter, consider offering them a role in your enterprise. The act of magnanimously bringing them inside your circle often secures a loyalty more fierce than any friends. Your power grows not by having yes men, but by orchestrating a team where everyone, especially former rivals, is powerfully motivated to see you succeed. Ignoring this law is an invitation to profound betrayal. The cost is not merely a failed project or a lost opportunity, it is the cataclysmic erosion of your foundation. When a trusted friend fails you, whether through indiscretion, laziness, or active betrayal, the damage is multifaceted. You lose a key pillar of support, you are forced to confront your own misjudgment, a blow to confidence, and the emotional devastation can paralyze your strategic thinking. The scandal often ripples outward, shaking others' faith in your judgment. Why did you not see it? Why did you trust so blindly? Your authority is undermined. This single point of failure, placed in a friend, can collapse an entire enterprise built over years. The enemy who attacks you head-on strengthens your resolve, the friend who stabs you in the back shatters your spirit and your reputation simultaneously. This law forces us onto an uncomfortable ethical tightrope. It advocates a worldview that can feel manipulative, cold, and deeply at odds with virtues like generosity, forgiveness, and authentic connection. The key to navigating this without losing your soul is intention and proportionality. Are you using this law to build something great and protect yourself from genuine threats, or are you using it to exploit and dominate everyone around you? Applying it to navigate corporate politics or secure a negotiating position is different from applying it to your family and deepest relationships. The law is a tool for the realm of power, not a universal mandate for life. The truly powerful individual knows when to employ this strategic calculus and when to set it aside for the human connections that make life meaningful beyond the game. At its core, Law 2 is a fierce argument for ultimate self-reliance. By warning you against overdepending on friends and teaching you to harness enemies, it directs all power, accountability, and agency back to you. You become the central pillar. Friends become valued companions, not crutches. Enemies become potential resources, not existential threats. This internal shift is empowering. It frees you from the disappointment of unmet expectations from friends and the paralyzing fear of adversaries. Your strategy, your discernment, and your actions become the primary engines of your ascent. You stop looking for a savior in a friend or a demon in an enemy. You see both as actors on your chessboard, to be understood, managed, and moved with precision according to the dictates of your long-term design. Mastering Law 2 is not about choosing enemies over friends. It is about developing a superior form of discernment. It is the wisdom to appreciate a friend's loyalty while never giving them the keys to your kingdom out of sentiment. It is the courage to face an enemy and see not just a threat, but a hidden reservoir of energy and talent that could be redirected. This law asks you to hold two seemingly contradictory truths at once, the human need for connection and the strategic necessity for vigilance. The goal is to build a world